Hey everyone, I'm here with a quick video on Little Rodney. Little Rodney Jones, is currently suing Diddy for $30 million. He's suing him for several things. One, he said he worked on the Love album, about 8 or 9 songs, and he never got compensated properly via their verbal agreement that they had. So listen, the only thing in business, you always got to get everything in writing. If you watch one judge show in your life, the first thing they always say to the people, do you have it in writing? Do you got a text or something that I can go by so I can hold this person that you are accusing liable for what you saying they promise you? Without that verbal, without that legal written piece of something, it's almost going to be extremely difficult for you to get justice. But in addition to that, he claimed that Diddy groomed him and SA'd him. So the lawsuit has a lot of accusations in it, but Little Rodney is speaking out and he's saying that as a result of him bringing this lawsuit against Diddy, he's been blackballed. He's been just moving from place to place. He's broke. No one knows where he lives. He said, including his mother. So he's just trying to find his way and don't quite understand why, one, he's being blackballed, two, why nobody's willing to help him. He said he has 3 therapists and he's just so scared to live his life because Diddy is powerful and he knows people, and he claimed in the past Diddy has threatened his life. Now, this article came out on Rolling Stone, a magazine publication. I will attach the link to this article in the description of this video. Let me say this: when you're suing somebody in the midst of the jungle, it's good to remain silent until your lawsuit is over. Why am I saying that? He said some things in this article that he probably should have kept to himself, but we'll get into it. Let me go ahead and share screen. But before I even share, they asked him, like, how do you feel about Diddy? What did he say? Let me go here. He said this man is a thief. He's a monster. He's evil. And he said, I don't even understand, outside of this man being a billionaire, why do people love him so much and seem to be on his side? So let's get into this Little Rodney's case situation here. Hold on. So Diddy producer Lil Rod breaks silence on the lawsuit and backlash. She said, it's killing me. Listen, I'm sure it is, because anytime you have to go to court, you need a lawyer, you're fighting somebody, it's stressful. Even if you seem to be winning your case, it is still stressful. It's a lot. It can really take a toll on you. He said, here I am standing up for justice and for what I believe is right for my life, Rodney Jones says, and I'm being punished. I do feel for him in that sense, but it's similar to a lot of females where if they were violated by a male, they kind of don't even want to say anything. They just want to go on with their life because they always feel like when it comes to the court of law, they're going to be re-victimized for trying to come forth and tell their story, right? So music producer Lil Rod Jones, made global headlines in February when he filed a stunningly detailed $30 million SA trafficking and racketeering lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs in Manhattan federal court. Jones claimed the hip hop mogul groped him, secretly drugged him, and forced him to solicit and participate in sexual contact with sex workers while Jones was working with Combs on a Grammy-nominated Love album, Off the Grid, between September 2022 and November 2023. Now, let me say this. It's so crazy that Diddy named his last piece of work, Love album, Off the Grid, because literally once that Cassandra Cassie lawsuit came out, Diddy has been off the grid. And there's been so many other lawsuits that subsequently followed Cassie's. The explosive 73-page suit, excuse me, followed after Combs' longtime partner, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, accused him of rape and years of sexual and psychological abuse in a complaint filed in November 2023. Five more women have since filed lawsuits alleging Combs sexually assaulted them as far back as the early 1990s. Combs is also defended in a sexual assault lawsuit filed against his son, Christian Kings Combs. That family is going through it right now because in Little Rodney's lawsuits, he named Diddy's other son as a part of that lawsuit too, in a situation, that happened in the bathroom. Okay, Justin Combs. So Combs settled with Ventura within a day and later apologized when a disturbing video obtained by CNN showed him kicking, stomping, and dragging Ventura in a hotel hallway. But the bad boy founder denied all subsequent allegations. His lawyers called Jones a liar seeking an undeserved payday. They blasted Jones, claims that Combs was somehow involved in a shooting at the Los Angeles music studio, saying a police investigation determined the attack happened outside and that charges were filed against robbery suspects unconnected to Combs. Mr. Jones' lawsuit is pure fiction. This is Diddy lawyers talking. A shameless attempt to create media hype and extract a quick settlement. Combs' lawyer Erica Wolf said in a statement Monday after filing a new motion to dismiss Jones' amended 98-page complaint. There were no RICO conspiracy, and Mr. Jones was not threatened, groomed, assaulted, or trafficked. We look forward to proving it in a court of law. That's all. That all of Mr. Jones' claims were made up and must be dismissed. Despite Combs' denials, Jones, 38, has held firm. As his lawsuit moves ahead, he's speaking out in his first interview. He declined to expand on the most sensitive allegations, saying his complaint speaks for itself, but he was willing to discuss working with Combs and what he describes as damaging fallout from his blockbuster lawsuit. With his lawyer Tyrone Blackburn on the line, Jones says he's largely been in hiding the last few months while undergoing intensive therapy. He attended 50 Cent's Humor and Harmony Festival in Louisiana in early August and recently worked with T-Pain at a lauded Juneteenth show at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles. But in his first major interview since the lawsuit, he said he feels otherwise blackballed in the music industry for stepping forward. Now, it's crazy how as much as Diddy is being accused of, and many people I'm sure connect to it and understand that these accusations are probably leaning more on the true side than not, that people are blackballing, Little Rodney, according to him. He said, Little Rodney said, before Diddy in the Love album, how did you view your career? I grew up in church. My family consists of pastors, singers, musicians, and carpenters. As a kid, 13 years old, I started doing recordings. Before I knew it, it snatched me right out of school. I worked with some of the greatest artists across different genres. In the gospel industry, the Clark Sisters, Mary, Donna Lawrence, Smokey Norfield. In the jazz world, Brian Cubiton. In the hip-hop world, Jack Harlow on Braxton Avenue, and T-Pain. I'm a singer and rapper who produces and plays multiple instruments. Coming into the situation with Diddy, I put everything else on hold. I saw that Diddy's project might be able to give me the finances and position to come back to my production company with a little bit more notoriety. When you work on this type of album, it usually comes with respect. How did you start working on a Love album? The first official meeting was in September 2022. It was a writing camp at Charlotte's a recording studio in Los Angeles. One of my friends was close to his AR at Love Records and asked me to come work with him. He said they'll give us our own room with musicians coming through to work with us. When I got there, I was so confused because the parking lot was set up like a club. Puff turned the parking lot into the whole experience. I didn't have my own room and was ready to go home, but I figured I at least do some networking. There were free drinks, IV drips, massage therapists, basketball. There were hundreds of people. This again, nothing against little Rodney personally, but I think all of us sometimes have to go with our first instinct. When he first got there, he felt a little off. There have been plenty of times where there have been things not this detrimental, but I was like, I'm not feeling this, and I knew I should have left. Fortunately, I got out unscathed, but it's just a reminder to all of us that you know what? Go with your instinct. If it doesn't feel right, look right, then leave. At first, I wasn't even noticed. They tried to put me in a corner. I was like, I'm a musician. I got guitars, keyboards, and basses in my trunk. With me sticking around, people just started asking and needing me more. One time specifically, Puff asked, "Yo, I need you to go find some church musicians to play keys to color up this song." I was sitting right there. I said, "I can play it. I grew up playing in church." We moved to another room, and he pulled me to the side and was like, "Yo, maybe you can put a bridge on this song. You do know what a bridge is." I looked at him, bro. For him to ask me that, he didn't have the slightest idea of my background. From then on, my services were needed. They gave me the task of training all the engineers and dealing with all the producers. I think from the way this is sounding, it's like Little Rod, and there have been plenty of times when many of us probably did this on jobs. We felt like, let me just prove myself. I'll prove myself. My name will get out there. And then after everybody hears all this work I did over here, I'll start to get more gigs, right? What was it like working with Diddy? His attitude is 0 to 100 in seconds. Sometimes he's asking for something and doesn't even know what he's asking for. He'll be like, "Yo, turn those little trinkets up." I would look at him like, "Okay, the trinkets, let's see." I just constantly kept eye contact, and I could see when I'm turning up something if it's right. I get the nod. I started to develop his ear too. He liked that. I understand music theory and professional terms. I had to understand what he's trying to say and translate that. That's how we became close. He's not a musician. He's more like an executive. He likes options. I figured, okay, I'm going to add 10 or 20 extra parts on here. And then when he comes in, I'll mute everything and play them one by one. And that will give him a plate to choose from. It was giving him options. It got to the point that out of all those hundreds of people at the writing sessions, when he went home to Miami, it was only myself and his AR executive who flew back with him. So he proved himself and it worked out. But unfortunately, because of who Diddy is, it worked out to his detriment, right? That he was the chosen one, so to speak. Um, there have been too many people trying to figure out where I'm at. My mom doesn't even know where I live. It's been like that pretty much all year. Your lawsuit alleges a pattern of abuse. When did that allegedly start? One of the first moments that was very uncomfortable was around Thanksgiving. Me and DeFrost, that's the A&R exec, were the only two flown to Miami. It's Thanksgiving Day, and he has a table outside for the employees. He's inside, and he waves me in. I'm a little nervous, but excited to be brought into the family dinner. I felt privileged to be sitting there. He introduced me and asked me to bless the food. I was trying to talk with the people sitting next to me, but I noticed everyone is saying very little. I realized they probably all under NDAs. I don't like to sit uncomfortable too long, so I went in the studio. About 10 minutes later, Puff comes rolling in with Young Miami and others following behind. Assistants were lighting candles, giving us cocktails. He went to in his bathroom attached to the studio and summoned me and the forest. He asked me if I had $100 bill. There were three white lines on the same. He was asking me to do something I've never done before. It was awkward. He was trying to get me to do some drugs. I don't want to judge anybody, but that's at the top of my list of things I'm afraid to do. How you know what? Listen, um, again at this point, he was feeling uncomfortable, and I get it, right? It's like it's Diddy, it's Puffy. You want this opportunity, but on his road to this opportunity, he kept getting stop signs, he kept getting blocks. And it's just like, it's sad that at that moment, he didn't like run from all the red flags. How do you describe Diddy? He's a monster. He'll do whatever is necessary to get exactly what he wants. He doesn't take no for an answer. He told me himself, I'll smack my mama. Anybody who could say that even jokingly is a monster. He's nothing to be played with. For a person whose brand is Love Records and changed their name to Love and named their kid Love, he doesn't show love. He's just marketing. Where are you based these days? For safety reasons, I'm not saying. There have been too many people trying to figure out where I'm at. I moved location, moved states, everything is private. My mom doesn't even know where I live. It's been like that pretty much all year. How has your battle with Diddy affected your career and your personal life? It's been very, very tough. Because of this lawsuit, most people don't want to come near working with me for whatever reasons. Whether they've been in partnership with Puff or they want to just sit back and see what happens. He's a gatekeeper in the music industry. In this industry, to be successful, you have to work with someone like him or Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Kanye, or 50 Cent. So many people I work with have had business deals with him. I reach out to try to get a deal for my album, and people don't want to get involved. The crazy part is when you sign most artists, you have to get into the studio and pay producers. My album is finished. It's mixed and mastered. I just need someone to come in and help with marketing and the release. I did the hard part, but people are too scared. Whether they whatever their reasons are, too much whatever their reasons are to touch this. I have been told the best way to do it is independent, but I have no engine. Meanwhile, I just go back to working with artists as musicians because I have to take security around with me when I'm performing. And most musicians don't get paid enough to take security. So I'm going to stop there for a second. Here's the thing. In this day and age with social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you can literally put your stuff out there. And if you're that good, overnight, someone will turn around and they will work with you. Go viral, they're going to want to work with you. I mean, on TikTok, the young lady who told the story of her man and she didn't realize he love bombed her, he did this, and she did 3 parts of a story. I mean, after that, she got agents, she got everything. The people loved her, and it literally happened in the blink of an eye. I personally have not heard Little Rodney's music. But if it's that good, you don't need any of this. Do your social media, do TikTok, put your stuff out there, and then somebody will pick you up if it's that good. Why do you need security? You're afraid of Diddy? Yes, I got threats. I never had so much hitting me at once. Diddy has a lot of people on his payroll in a lot of different positions. He's very connected. It made me nervous traveling. Going to hotels, I asked if there's any way to remove my name. The last time I landed in LA, I knew he had connections there. I got off the plane worried. I masked my face and changed my outfits, trying to disguise myself. For sure, I was uncomfortable, paranoid, afraid, but I told myself, you can't keep living like this. I got 3 therapists. In his lawsuit, Jonah alleges Combs threatened him with physical harm. Everybody saw the video of Cassie. This is who I'm dealing with. Now, listen, we heard many stories of violence and Diddy's name connected to it. I can understand him being afraid. So, no more touring with other musicians. I did a gig at the Hollywood Bowl with T-Pain in June with a full orchestra. I was the band director, scored the orchestra parts, played the keys and bass guitar. I have been working with T-Pain the last couple of years. I helped produce his last album. But doing that show, I had a couple of mental breakdowns. I almost felt like it was too soon for me to try to come back outside to work. My anxiety was out the roof. I saw different guys backstage I didn't know and got scared. I wondered where the security was. It made me very uncomfortable. It's not a good feeling wondering if someone was there to attack me. It was just hard for me to do my job comfortably. It's definitely been challenging for sure. Last year I was touring arenas around the US. This year I've only done a total of 3 gigs. It's hard. This has got me in a place where I don't know what's next. I feel like there's more music and creativity in me. But then I feel like maybe my career is over. Maybe the music business feels so corrupted. I've been writing, I have a couple albums, but the truth is I'm nervous. For a person whose brand is Love Records and changed their name to Love and named their kid Love, he doesn't show love. He's just marketing. It's an overstatement to say you feel blackballed. It's not an overstatement. It's correct. It feels like there's so many people quietly rooting for Combs. Or maybe they're rooting for me and just scared to say something. Here I am standing up for justice for what I believe is right for my life. And I'm being punished for that. I've been blackballed for sure. I have many nights and weeks and months of, thoughts of unaliving myself. It's the music that has kept me living all my life. What do you want people to know about your situation and why speak out now? For some reason, our culture worships Combs and his billionaire status. I do think that they worship Combs before all of this recent information that has really truly come to light. There has been many whispers about Combs over the years, over the decades, but I think now the whispers have come to loud noises and people do believe he's a monster. I'm sure there are some people that are rooting for him, but I'm sure there are many that really want him they want to see him pay for the dirty deeds that he has done to not only his artists, but to the loves of his life, the intimate partners in his life. I'll say that. I'm not sure he loves himself or anybody that he's ever been involved with. They don't want to see him fall because they love living vicariously through him. They have to understand Puffy is no god. He's nothing more than a shrewd, crooked businessman. He's sold in publishing for years. He's nothing but a thief. He has no soul. He lives off other people's gifts and talents. It's not a human way to live. My name is all over the Love album credits. So I had to have done some producing. It's got a Grammy nomination, and I'm sitting here doing nothing, unable to work. This is not right. In his amended lawsuit, Jones alleges he had a verbal contract with Combs, promising him 20,000 and 4 royalty points per song, as well as credit as a producer, credit for each instrument played, and producing rights to his work. He alleges he produced 9 songs on the Love album and hasn't been compensated for his work. When reached out for a comment, a spokesperson for Combs said no such agreement was reached. Mr. Jones was hired as a session musician and sound engineer for the Love album and was fully compensated for his contribution. The spokesperson said the rep further pointed Rolling Stones to a prior statement from Combs regarding his decision in the last few years to return publishing rights to his bad boy artists and writers. No other company has taken the steps that I have taken to give publishing rights back to artists. This is about fairness, integrity, and acknowledging the contributions these artists made to the culture, Combs said in a statement shared with Rolling Stones. Now, I will say this: if Diddy claims that he paid Little Rodney for his services, then he should be able to produce some checks or something. Okay, because Little Rodney name is on there, you should get paid, right? What is your financial position? Hold on one second, guys. My Google thing is all right. I had to shut up my Google. But what is your financial position right now? He said, I'm broke. I have no source of income right now. Every month, I'm trying to figure out how the bills are going to get paid. I have my phone turned off for like 24 hours, and a lot of people just sit back and watch. But T-Pain is a real friend. His team worked to make sure it was safe for me to work the Hollywood Bowl show. That felt good. But there should be more artists like T-Pain having my back. So the Hollywood Bowl show was good for you despite your anxiety. Now, this is the problem where I think he should have left this out of the interview. because a lawyer for the opposing side can have a field day right here with this piece. He said, yes, it reminded me who I was and what keeps me breathing all these years. It was second nature. It hadn't been I hadn't been doing live music for months and jumped right back on stage like I never left. I was outside of the fair, but you have to have extra patience with other performers. I didn't have the attitude I didn't have the attitude like I like to have when I'm working with other people. I was worried that if someone made a mistake, I would be on them. The reality was, I just wanted my first show back to be perfect. I rehearsed everybody 12 hours a day. Afterward, my mind fell back into trauma state. I didn't want to walk to the bathroom without somebody being with me. So he was able to pull himself together to do the show. He worked the people, rehearsed the people 12 hours a day. But right after the show, he's saying he went back in the trauma state. I just think that's a little, that's a loaded statement right there. So anyway, let's move forward. What are you hoping for moving forward? I'm hoping once I drop my album that people support it. I hope that people get back to the reality of my music and my talent. Anybody who knows me knows it's real, raw talent. Puffy is an executive producer who has the money. It takes him months sometimes just to cut 8 bars. I could pick up a brass right now and play it. I could pick up a keyboard right now and play it. I play 13 instruments and can sing and rap and produce. And I'm sitting around and can't get a deal. I just hope all this turns around for me so that I can get back to doing the music I love. It's killing me. It's taking me out not doing it. The thing is, right, I hear Little Rodney, but it's a lot of mixed messages and a lot of stuff going on within his conversation. It seems like he just wants someone to, give him a chance. And it seems like there's some, I'm trying to tread lightly with my words with this conversation because I know he's going through a lot. But it seems like there's some bitterness of the fact that he has all of this talent and he probably feels that he has more talent than Diddy. And Diddy had all of this opportunity and no one won't look at him and give him an opportunity. Unfortunately, in this world, and I can't answer the rhyme or reason why, there's sometimes you have somebody that has uber talent, but their success doesn't match their talent. Then you have somebody that has no talent and their success supersedes their talent. And I think it all comes down to, and this is just my opinion, how much do you believe in yourself? And I think with Diddy 100% will always bet on him. He has his confidence is out the roof. And I think with Little Rodney, I think the confidence is lacking there, right? He's thinking, I need someone to give me an opportunity instead of thinking, you know what? He is his opportunity. And like I say to anybody, to me, this is a great time in the world when literally you can be your own producer, manager, and all of that. Why? Because all you got to do is turn your phone or drop your project on a TikTok or something like that. And the audience will let you know if it's good because that thing will go viral. And then everybody will come knocking and tapping on your door. Listen, I wish Little Rodney the best. I don't know how this lawsuit is going to turn out, but I think, if he's going to do these interviews, he has to tread lightly on what he says. Because if you want to say in your lawsuit that, you're distressed, you can't work, but then you got a piece in here where you worked. And although you have these 3 therapists, you managed when it came to work that one time to pull yourself together, do the show, work everybody hard. But then you're going to say as soon as you got off stage, you fell right back into depression. Anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments. And when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts on Little Rodney, this case, him speaking out and saying it's killing me and that he's broke. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.